Alright, hey, this is Mega here, and so in a previous video you probably learned that Hayes Mega finally destroyed the Sur Ron Motor, alright? It took the EMXRON controller and Coyote Creek Sprint Enduro 2022 to finally kill this motor, right? Man, I've had this bike for a long. This is a 2018 Sur Ron Lightbeat MX, alright? MX. They don't sell the MX anymore, guys, but I've had it for a while now, man. Almost 5 years. Yeah, we're coming up on 5 years. I mean, well, a little more than 4 years. I've had this bike, and it's had the original motor in it, and I haven't destroyed it yet, man. So many supermoto races, hair scramble races, and what else do I do with it? I do enduro races. That's the one that destroyed the motor. All right. I had to do like multiple very difficult hill climbs on this, and it just didn't have the power and the torque to get up there. And I had to lug the motor so much, all right. It probably would have helped if I had a bigger sprocket, all right. But I think if I had the BAC 4000, I think it probably would have done better than what we did, all right. This is a sad part, okay. But I wanted to try that controller out, and it just wasn't up to snuff, guys. So yeah, bike doesn't run, all right. I'm gonna turn it on right now. The controller fires up, all right, and I twist the throttle. Nothing. Okay, I hear a little click coming from either the motor or the controller. Okay, so what Hayes Mega has to do, all right. This is the video, the troubleshooting video. All right, it's either so what happened. I'll tell you what happened. That finally killed the motor. Is that we overheated it. All right, we overheated the motor and the controller. All right, the motor and the controller got so hot. The battery didn't get so hot. It took it pretty damn well, if you ask me. But yeah, every time we'd have to go up a hill, the controller and motor would just get super hot. All right, super hot. So I don't want to put all the blame on the controller, all right, the EMXRON controller, because I think this motor was already like on its last leg. All right, I think I've been having problems with this bike the last year. It's been slower than it has been, and the controller has been acting kind of wacky and stuff. And so that's why I bought this thing, all right, QS 165, all right. This is supposedly a replacement motor for the Sur Ron, and it runs, and it's supposed to be a little bit beefier, a little bit stronger, can handle more abuse than the Sur Ron motor, all right. And it drops right into the Sur Ron. However, Electro and company couldn't get this controller to run with this, so they told me not to install it because it won't run at its optimum performance. And I could not get the BAC 4000. It was the same story with the BAC 4000. All right, I got it to run with this, but it wasn't running at its optimum performance. It's basically as fast as the stock Sur Ron. Okay, so well, what's the point, right? well, I have another motor, so we can try it out. All right, so so what I got to do is I got to figure out either is the controller bad or the motor bad. All right, which one did I break? All right, or is the controller bad, or is the motor bad, or is both of them bad? All right, so I have my old controller, I have my BAC 4000 still, and I have this motor, and I do know the BAC 4000 will work with this motor, just not very good. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to hook the controller up to this motor, all right, and see if it works. And then that way we can verify that the controller works and the motor doesn't work, okay? Yeah, and then if this doesn't work, I know this is a good motor, all right, because I used it, right? That means the controller is bad, all right? And then so we can put the BAC 4000 back on, and then remove this controller. All right, that would suck if I broke it after one race. You know, that's a test. That would be a testament to how inadequate it was, type of thing. All right, but we'll find that out when we start taking stuff out. So first, I got to get this off of the stand, drop the skid plate, and then start disconnecting the phase wires and everything. All right, so. I'm not going to get it on video, all right? When I get it all hooked up, that'll be the moment you guys will see, okay? The battery is fine. There's nothing wrong with the battery. I will pull the battery, drop the skid plate, and then start disconnecting everything, and then connect everything to this. All right, there's only 4 connections on this. All right, the 3-phase wires and then the hall sensor connector. Okay, let's go do it. Okay, so I've disconnected the motor. All right, the hall sensor and all the phase wires are off. All right, they're right here. Okay, man, it's a pain in the ass. If you do this bolt and nut thing with the shrink tubing, it's a pain in the ass to take out, guys. I'll say. If you're gonna be getting in here a lot, I suggest to not do it. All right, but like, yeah, I wasn't planning to take this out for a long time. All right, that's what I want to say. Okay, so I'm gonna go hook up the QS motor, and then we'll see if this bad boy works. It's hanging out right here. All right. Okay, there she is. She's hooked up. All right. Yeah, let's take a little closer look. I haven't fired it up yet. So there it is. There's the hall sensor connector, and then there's all the stuff there. I probably should move those other phase wires out of the way. Just come back here or something. That's okay. That won't be in the way. Okay. I just don't want it to touch the other ones. Yeah, definitely. All the wiring is exposed, but should be fine. All right, dude. We just gotta test it. So the thing is, when I had hooked this thing up to the BSC 4000, it spun backwards. Okay, guys. I had to do the auto tune, and I had to do the reverse the motor direction. All right, to get it to work. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen. All right. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, man. I don't even think it's going to spin in the right direction, because it's got to go counterclockwise, right? So we'll pay attention to that. All right. So first thing I'm going to do. All right. So we're going to fire this bad boy up. Okay. All right. Just make sure I put my foot on it. All right. So it doesn't just take off. All right. I'm going to fire it up. All right. It's on. Let's put it on the lowest speed. All right, and then, oh, nothing. Nothing, guys. I'm not getting anything. Yeah, I think the controller, I think I nuked the controller, not the motor. I think the motor is fine. I think it's just okay, so we're not getting anything, guys. It's not moving at all. So that leads me to believe that I bricked that controller. Yeah. So. Yep, it's not moving at all. I wish I had another Sur Ron motor to test it with. Put it in sport mode. Yeah, nothing. So you can hear it makes a clicking sound. It's hard to tell if that's coming from the controller or the motor. All right, but yeah, it's nothing. No, not working at all. Okay, guys. So it may be the controller that's the problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this controller, and then we're going to put the BSC 4000 back in and see if that works. Okay, guys. So I'll put the good old ERT BSC 4000 back in, and then we'll see if I know it's going to be a lot more work now. Ideally it would be best if I got another Sur Ron motor and tested it out, but yeah, it's I think the controller is dead, man. Dead in the water. I don't know if there's any kind of fuse or something. Yeah. Okay, anyway, yeah, let me tell Austin, like, hey, it's not working with the QS motor. I think there's something wrong with the controller. That's what it seems like. So, but yeah, let me go let him know and see what he says. But what the next step should be is we're going to I'm going to install the BSC 4000 back in, okay? And if the BSC 4000 works with the Sur Ron motor, we know the Sur Ron motor is fine, and we broke the controller, okay? So, yeah. All right, so That's okay. So yeah, that's our troubleshooting. All right, so we had to figure out if it's either the controller or the motor that's bad. Well, we just hooked up another motor to it, and I know this motor is good, all right, but it's a different motor is the problem. We need it would be best if we had a Sur Ron motor, all right, because this is programmed for the Sur Ron. All right, but I do have a controller that can operate this motor, all right there. So not very well, but it'll do it. Okay, so yeah. I don't know, maybe there's some kind of, is there some kind of fuse for the controller or something? I'm not sure. Alright, anyway, dead in the water still, guys. So I'm gonna go disconnect. The only thing left to do is disconnect the motor again, and then we'll take the controller off and then put the BAC 4000 back in, and if it runs, then we know that the motor is fine, but the controller isn't. Okay, so yeah, I kind of feel that I feel that the motor is still okay because it still spins fine. All right, you would think if something melted or whatever blew up in there, then it would you know, it wouldn't spin so smoothly. All right, so yeah, I think I don't know, you would think that the controller would, you know, shut off before it would nuke itself. But I guess Hades Vega just punished it that badly. All right. Okay, guys, this is beginning to be a lot more work than I bargained for. Well, I would rather replace the controller than the motor. All right, guys, but yeah. So I got the controller out. It's right here. I thought there might be some kind of fuse in this or something, because I would think if there's a fuse and it did blow, the bike wouldn't work at all. All right, or the controller wouldn't work at all. All right, but the display powers up and everything, you know, and but all I hear is a little click when I give it throttle. I was looking at this thing. This is just a plug, okay, guys. There's no fuse. There's nothing in there. Right? I thought there's some kind of fuse somewhere that it might have blown, like it got too hot, but no, it doesn't. This is just some kind of plug. There's a kind of like a silicone washer here, and then I don't know, maybe if water gets in the controller or something, you can open that plug and get it out. Maybe you know what, it might be a vent plug, I'm not sure. But what I think I see, I took pictures of it. All right, guys, check it out. Okay, yeah, if you look through the hole, I think you were just looking at the heatsink, all right? That's all you're looking at. So okay, anyway, there it is. That's the controller. So I talked to Austin. I sent him a text message, and he doesn't know what's up. So he told me to send it back, and they'll take a look at it. And if I really did break it, they'll send me a new one. So that's cool. Yeah. So I thought the motor was bad, but it looks like maybe the controller's bad, but we won't find that out until we install this bad boy. Okay, so I'm halfway through it. I need to take the old wiring out and stuff, and then I can throw the BAC on there real quick. Okay, so yeah, still working on it. What a mess, man. I have to say, dude, this is a lot more work than thing. But hey, you know, I guess it's better than taking a gasoline motor out, you know. All right, here's we go. Okay, so I was putting the ASI brackets, or the old brackets, back on. And I was thinking another thing that could go bad is the throttle. Okay, that's another thing that could have gone bad. I should have replaced the throttle. I have the throttle box. I have the old throttle box. I could have easily hooked it up right now and then just kind of blip the throttle, see if it would work. But I forgot. All right, that's okay. We'll put the controller on. So yeah, there's three things that could go bad: the controller, the motor, or the throttle. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how the throttle can just go bad like that, but I'm not gonna lie, I've had it happen before, guys. I had a regen throttle go bad on me during a race, and I had not a regen. I had a throttle on my electric bike. All right, it just went bad, and then I couldn't. That was it, you know. So it could very well be the throttle that's bad. So I didn't think about. Well, I did think about that, but I just remembered it right now. Okay, so. We'll put the controller on, and I guess we'll have to find out if it's if the controller doesn't work. I mean, if the controller, I know this controller works. Okay, guys, I know this works when I pulled it off. If the motor still won't run, all right, then it might be the throttle. Okay, the throttle may be busted. Okay, so I wish I had tested the throttle before I took the controller off, because it would have been easy. All I'd have to do is just unplug that one and plug another one in. And shit. Oh well. Okay. Okay, you know what? On second thought, I'm gonna go do it real quick. I'm gonna go plug the controller in real quick. I want to rule out the throttle. All right. We would have to hook it back up to this thing, so we're gonna hook it back to this. Okay, Hayes Vega here. I got my test bench all set up, and so I've got I put the controller there. It's just kind of just hanging there. I put the harness back in, and then I've got the old throttle box right here, right? All I gotta do is twist this and it should go, right? And then I put the jacks, I put a jack on the foot peg over there, and the wheel should spin freely, all right? So my bikos won't take off, all right? Okay, now I gotta find my keys. Where did I put them? Okay, there we go. I know the bike is like in freaking pieces right now, but I just want to test the throttle out. Okay, it fired up. Display fired up, and then now we just got to give it throttle. Oh no, same clicky sound. Let me see where that sound is coming from. Maybe I have to turn it off, turn it back on. I think it's the controller, man. Okay. Oh yeah, it's the controller. Yeah, it's the controller. I can hear it. It's making, the controller's making a clicking sound. So I think I broke the controller, guys. Holy shit. Okay, well, that's the end of that test. So I just ruled the the throttle out. Okay, guys. So I thought maybe the throttle could fail, but I don't think it is. It's still making that clicking sound, and it's still not going. Okay, so all right, off it goes, and the ASI controller is going to go back on. So good thing is my motor. My motor is not. Okay, guys, here we go. It's the moment of truth. I got the controller hooked up. I just need to put the battery in. All right. And so I'm just gonna bench test it for now. It's just gonna stay on that thing. Don't try this at home, kids. I got the phase wires just all hanging out right here. There's nothing insulating them or at all, except for this rag. All right, I wrapped a rag around it. All right, hopefully we won't get any crazy spark. Oh shit, man, the battery balls. Yeah, how are we gonna do this, man? Shit, I gotta connect the battery somehow. Hold on, I got it. Let me turn the battery on its side. There we go. Okay, there we go. Hopefully nothing catches on fire or anything. I need my key. Alright, I got my key. Okay, I'm gonna fire it up. Okay. Is the light on the controller on? Yes, it is. Alright, so okay, I don't know if, well, I already tested it, but yeah, it kind of doesn't work, guys. Alright, I hooked up the NXT display and everything. Alright, the motor spins. Well, not very much, okay? I got a fault. Let's see what the fault says. Fault detected. It says instant phase over current. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I'm getting a phase over current problem. Right, just to make sure these freaking wires are hooked up right, man. Yep, they look like it. Okay. Yeah, I made sure, I double checked that the hall sensor was connected and everything. Yeah, everything was good, so I don't know what else could be the problem. Maybe it is throttle. Let's go hook up the other throttle. Let me hook up the throttle box real quick. Or let me do an auto tune. Let's do auto tune or motor calibration. Okay, I'm gonna go here to motor options. Okay, I'm gonna go to motor calibration. All right, make sure the bike doesn't go anywhere. Get moving. Oh yeah, motor hall sensor issue. Sensorless only. There's a problem with the hall sensor. I think I fried the hall sensor, is what happened. Huh. Okay. Fault is instant phase overcurrent. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever I did to the motor. I think the motor and that other controller are bad, man, because this one at least worked. You know what? Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I don't know if it's the motor or the controller now. You know, it could be both. Yeah, this is kind of what the hell, dude. Let me see. It runs it, but I think it's running in sensorless mode. If I give it a lot of throttle, it doesn't work. Yeah, it says there's a motor hall sensor issue and it's running in sensorless mode. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna turn it off, turn it on. Okay, so this is what's going on here. If I give it a little throttle, it'll run. Oh, my battery almost fell. I don't get the battery in the bike. The battery's just sitting on the seat. Okay, I got a fault. I get an instant phase overcurrent fault. Oops. Yeah, instant phase overcurrent when I get on the throttle too much. I think the hall sensor is messed up, man. That's probably what the problem is. I think I fried the hall sensor. Yeah, it just dies right over. Okay, let me try motor calibration. Just hold everything. So it keeps on saying there's a hall sensor issue, so I think that motor is messed up. Okay, guys. The motor works, but I think the hall sensor is messed up. And honestly, like I've put this motor through so much freaking torture. I don't think I want to run this thing anymore. Yeah, so I don't even think I would have tried to fix it. Okay. Yeah, man. And it won't even run the QS motor. The other one won't run the QS motor. I know this one will run the QS motor. Okay, last thing to check is the throttle. We'll see if the throttle is the problem. Okay, let me turn this off, and then we'll switch the throttles again to the throttle box. Okay, maybe it could be a throttle problem. Let's just rule that out right now. Okay, I got the throttle box right here. I'm gonna fire this bad boy up. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little throttle. Okay. Same problem. Okay. So if I give it a little throttle, it'll run. If I give it a lot of throttle, it just dies, okay? So let me turn it off, turn it back on. Okay. we'll go to calibrate again. Okay, make sure I hold everything. Oh yeah, it's not happy. It's spinning the right direction, right? Let me see. Yep, spinning the right direction. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Let's do the stationary test. There's a moving test and there's a stationary test. I always do the moving, but let's try stationary. Stationary test passed. Proceed to moving tests. Stand clear of rear wheel. Okay. Let's make sure I hold it. Motor hall sensor issue. Sensorless only. Okay, let's try saving. I'm going to hit save. It's going to run in sensorless mode now. Okay. Exit. Let's go to fault. Instant phase over current again. Oh, yeah, no, that's not on anymore. Oh, I'm using the wrong throttle, guys. I'm supposed to use this one here. Oh, yeah. Same thing. Still phase over current. Yep. Okay. Sounds pretty fucking bad, dude. Every time. Just skips. Okay, yeah. Alright, the last thing I can do is hook up the QS motor and see if it works, alright? So, I'm pretty sure that motor is bad, alright? I'm not 100% sure that the other controller is bad, okay? Ideally, I would need another Sur Ron motor to test, alright? And I don't have one. Fortunately. But what Austin said is to just send it back and he'll take a look at it and see if I broke it or something, and then he'll send me a new one or something. But I don't know. I don't think I want to stay with this controller. Okay, so I kind of ruled out the throttle. I tried 2 different throttles. And it's still doing the same thing. Okay, I thought maybe it's the throttle, but I think it's the hall sensor. The hall sensor is bad, and you have to like get in the motor and everything. And I think this tired old motor, man, I think it's time to call it quits on this guy. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go get a new motor and controller combo. Okay, hopefully I can find a QS. I have the QS motor right here. If I could find a controller that can run this thing at full power, man, it would be awesome. But yeah, no dice. Okay, anyway. So I think that's the end of our test today. So what we found out is this controller doesn't work. All right, it just makes a clicking sound. All right. And then that motor, it works with the ASI controller, but it's giving me a hall sensor error, okay? I can twist it a little bit, it'll go up to like 2,000 RPM, and then if I twist it anymore, it dies, okay? And then if I try to do a motor calibration test, it gives me, what is it? It gives me there's a problem with the hall sensor, and it's going to run in sensorless mode, but it doesn't work in sensorless mode, so yeah. That's the dealie. That's where we're at right now. I'm pretty sure that motor. So the motor runs. Okay, we could probably fix it. Okay, I feel like I've overheated that thing so many times that yeah, it's not so good anymore. So let's say, all right. So I don't know. I didn't think I want to run that motor anymore, but can we fix that motor? Yeah, we probably could. I think we would just need to change the hall sensor. Maybe that's the problem with it. Okay. If I wanted to get the bike running again, I could probably get another Sur Ron motor and then run it. Maybe the other controller would run it, or maybe this one, or we would have to use this one controller again. But unfortunately, that guy doesn't work properly. All right, that's the big problem. Okay, so I have another motor already, but and the sad thing is this motor is way cheaper than that motor. All right, it's like half the price of that motor. I don't want. Why would I want to run a cheaper, superior motor, you know, then buy something that's more expensive and inferior, right? So yeah, that's the question. Anyway, there it is. What a pain in the ass. So I think I'm just gonna put the ASI controller back on. All right, and I'm like, yeah, we're just not really gonna race this anymore. What I might do is we'll take the Sur Ron motor out, all right, and then we'll put the QS motor on, and then we'll run it with the ASI controller and just turn the power down a whole lot. Okay, we'll just make it slow as balls. Okay, so yeah, I know that's kind of sad because we can get a lot of power out of that motor, but unfortunately it's a no-go. All right, so that's my findings tonight. All right, the motor works. It looks like the hall sensor fried. Yeah, because like it's having trouble finding the position of the motor and stuff. All right, but also this doesn't work. All right, I tried this with the QS motor and it didn't work also. So I think I might have broken this or something. Also, the hall sensor failed. Okay, but I'm going to send it back to Electro and Co. And hopefully they can probably test it on their Sur Ron or something, and then they'll, we'll see what's up. Okay, so that's the scoop. All right, here's Miguel. Okay, guys, here's a little more of what's up. I put the other throttle back on. If I give it a little bit of throttle, it'll go, and then I can get it up to 5,000 RPM. Let me put my hand. Oh man, this freaking battery, dude. All right. I can get it to go up to 6,000 RPM. The motor's not busted, but I think the hall sensor's busted. All right, so it's I don't know, man, but it works. The ASI controller works. It's kind of odd, but it cuts out when I give it full throttle. When I give it a lot, after like a certain amount of throttle, it dies. All right, so I'm gonna hold it again. So I'm gonna get on the throttle real fast, it'll probably just die. So it spun up, and then so I twisted the throttle real fast, and then it doesn't like that. All right, it gives me an instant phase over current error. So I mean, that leads me to believe I think this hall sensor was already bad in the first place. So it's probably the hall sensor that's bad. Okay, the motor physically it's fine. It works, but like, yeah, it says there's a problem with the hall sensor, and especially when I do the motor calibration, it won't pass. So that leads me to believe maybe the hall sensor fell off or something, or it melted. I don't know. We have to go in there and take a look at it. Okay. But I would say, like, I think it's time to retire that motor, man. All right, I'm gonna hold the bike. Oh, it passed. Oh, it passed. Yeah, it's the hall sensor, guys. I think it's the hall sensor. So what I think is the hall sensor is loose in there, and like the hall sensor is the sensor that tells the position of the motor. All right, guys. And what I think is like it probably something melted in there because it got really hot, and then it's like it's not on there properly on the motor anymore. So yeah, anyway, let's save it. Yeah, I think it's the Hall sensor. 100%, I think. It won't let me go full throttle, that's for sure. Let's see what fault it's giving us. Faults and warnings detected. Alright, I got instant phase over current. What's the warning? Nothing. Let's go. Yeah, it doesn't look going full throttle. I think the Hall sensor is busted, man. That's the problem. So I could probably get this. I could probably get it working again, but like I would have to open the motor up. Yeah, man. And replacing the Hall sensor is kind of a bitch. you have to take the wires out of the motor and everything. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. And then you have to make sure you put it back in the right place. And yeah, man. So what I'm thinking is the Hall sensor fell off, it broke off, it melted off, something. All right, so I'm gonna have to, if I do get a, I think I'm just gonna replace the motor. All right, guys. That's probably the best thing to do is replace the motor. This poor thing has just been battered and tortured like a lot. All right, so much so that the Hall sensor has like failed. All right, so yeah, there you go. That's what happens when your motor gets too hot, your Hall sensor goes bad. But I suspect the Hall sensor has gone bad. All right, if I open it up, I bet you will find something in there. All right, the circuit board melted or something. I don't know, man. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, that's my findings. All right, the motor physically is fine. All right, but I think the Hall sensor is messed up. Sometimes the bike runs good, and sometimes it doesn't. It skips around. So yeah, I don't know what to say, man. We'll have to either, if I want to use this motor, I gotta fix the Hall sensor. But I think I just want to get a new motor. Okay, I want to see if I can get that QS motor working, man. But yeah, ideally, I guess what I could do for now is put the QS motor back in. All right, swap the QS motor in, and then just tune it to work with this guy. All right, and it'll be really, really slow, guys. It'll be like stock Sur Ron slow. All right. Okay, yeah. So that's the end of the game. All right, as we go. Hall sensor failure. Okay, so yeah, so what I might do tomorrow, or I'm done for tonight. I'm tired of playing test bed here tonight. What I'm gonna do is we'll take this cover off. Oh shit, man, you got to take the motor off. Yeah, we'll take the cover off this motor, and then we'll see what's going on in there. I bet you the Hall sensor is in there, like it's loose or it fell out or something. So. Loose, it fell out, it melted, you know, something happened to it. So I'm really interested to see what happened to it. I don't think we're going to be using this motor anyway, so might as well open it up, right? Okay. So anyway, that'll be another video. All right, here we go.